What's up, Trainiacs? This is video number 2 of the 4-part triathlon bike fitting series. Today we are talking about the contact point of your foot with the pedal, specifically how to set up your cleat position, your triathlon or cycling shoe with or without an insole. That's about it. Stick around. What's up, triathletes? So welcome to the second part in the 4-part series of this triathlon bike fitting series. Caveat, as always, just need to let you know that I am not a certified bike fitter. This series is to get you in the ballpark of how to fit on your triathlon bike. If you have severe pain or if you really want to dial in your setup, go to a certified bike fitter. They're going to be able to get it ideally suited to you. This is just going to get you close. What we're dealing with are the 3 touch points that every cyclist or triathlete has on their bike. Those being the pedals, the saddle, and the elbow pads and the handlebars. Today we're talking about your foot's contact point with the pedals and how to set up your cleat position and your triathlon bike shoe. Don't forget that all of these videos have an accompanying free download that you can get at triathlontaren.com/bikefit, which will make this a little bit easier for you to do on your own. So the first thing I want you to think about is if you have any issues with knee problems, with any ankle pain, with any foot pain, anything like that that is in, say, the lower part of the leg or even coming up into the hip, there's a chance that that may be coming up from the pedal in that chain through the leg. Now, first off, we want to set the cleat position on the bottom of the shoe in the ballpark of what is ideally suited for you. So the first thing that you can do is figure out how your foot should be placed in line with dead center. And how to do this is to close your eyes, take about 3-4 steps forward, stop with both feet side by side, then look down at your feet. If your feet are pointed out, if your feet are pointed in, if your feet are pointed straight forward, that's kind of in line with how it should be on the bike. That's your natural biomechanical position. So take note of how your feet look and then set up your cleats so that your feet on the bike kind of skew towards your natural biomechanical position. That's not to say you should go to the very limit of being duck-toed or pointed out, but if your feet are straight, keep them straight. If your feet point in a little bit, point them in a little bit on the bike, and vice versa if they point out. Next, what you've got to set up is your cleat forward and backward position. Basically, what you want is for the ball of your foot to be in line with the spindle of the pedal, because that's going to be where you end up putting in the most amount of solid power. That's a very solid structure under that ball of the foot, so line that up and get that cleat positioned forward and backward in line with, so the ball of your foot is lined up with the spindle of the pedal. Next thing we have to set up is the side-to-side position of the pedal, and for this will be where you take a full-length mirror and you set it up in front of yourself as you're riding on a bike. And what you should be looking at this point is how far away your knees are from the top tube of the bike. So what you're looking at is this position right there, and if your knee is really close to the top tube of the bike, that means that you should be positioning your cleat such that your shoe goes towards the center of the bike. Don't fight your natural biomechanical structure, and do that on both sides. So you can see here that on the one side, I'm actually fairly close to the top tube with my right knee, and then on the other side, I'm a fair bit away from the top tube, so I can move that cleat just a little bit further out so that naturally I'm not fighting having to get close to that top tube because I'm the same on both sides. You can adjust it one way or the other. Now, the second thing that I want you to look at is take a line from your hip down to the bottom of the pedal stroke on both sides, and you want to take a look at your knee tracking. And if you find that your knee is going wildly off of that center line and it's not quite straight, maybe it's knocking out, maybe it's coming in and then swooping out, that's maybe an indication that you could actually use an insole in your foot, because you might need a more stable platform so that as you push, your knee doesn't end up kind of collapsing in a chain. So take a look at that, and even just using an iPhone on slow motion, you'll be able to see if there's that straight line or not. And if you do find that you need an insole in your shoe, make sure that you have a shoe with enough vertical room in it so that you're not squishing your foot on the top. You actually want, while you're in a bike shop, to have a fair bit of room, because in a triathlon, your foot is going to swell, so you don't want it fitting super snug to begin with. You want to have a fair bit of room to be able to put an insole in if you do, and even more room to be able to swell up during the course of the race. So triathletes, that's video number 2 of 4 when it comes to triathlon bike fitting. As I mentioned, go to triathlontaren.com/bike fit to get all the supplements and the imagery to help you dial this in and do it yourself at home. In the next video, we are going to be talking about fitting yourself to the bars and the arrow position. If you didn't see the first video about saddle position to help with lower back pain, with saddle sores, with discomfort in the nether regions, that video is up here. The full playlist is right here. And if you aren't yet subscribed, hit the subscribe button below. If you are subscribed, you are special to me. Got a little spot for you right there. Later, Trainiacs.